Welcome to the responsive part of this chapter. This one we're going to go really quickly through it because we are soon going to start building out the first project. So that's going to be exciting. So I want to show you a few things that you need to consider and that you need to learn before we get going with that. So first of all, I want to show you something called a media query. And what a media query allows us to do is pretty much use different kinds of CSS when it comes to different sizes of the screen. So I'm going to show you something very simple. I'm just going to throw in a heading here that's going to say desktop. And I'm going to do one called tablet and one mobile. Okay, so let's do tablet here and then mobile here. Perfect. Hit save, and this is what we have. We can go here in the CSS. I just have the basic margin and padding removal and font size that we did so far. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab them and I'm going to add a bit of a bigger font size, 2.8 rem. Actually, let's do bigger. So maybe on desktop, I want 4.8 like that. And let's also add some classes to this. So class, I'm going to name this desktop. All right. And then I'm going to name this class. And this is going to be tablet and class mobile. Save. So I want to show you something. I'm also going to add a background color to everything here. So let's just grab let's do the body, and we are going to drop a background of light gray. Hit save, and that is what we have. Okay, so when we go down all the way here, we can add something called a media, and we can write that by adding a round media. Okay, and here what we do is we add some parentheses and we say max width like this, and then colon, and let's do 300 pixels. And I'm going to explain what this does, but just follow along a bit. And we're going to grab the body again, yeah, and we're going to change the background color to something else. Background, let's do light steel blue. I'm actually going to change this to a very bright blue. And you know what? Let me actually increase the size of this. Let's do something like 600 pixels. So as you can see, it changes to blue. And what this basically means is max width basically tells us, hey, the maximum width should be 600 pixels. As soon as it gets bigger than 600 pixels, apply the following styles. Okay, that's what the media tag does. This code here kicks in as soon as the max width gets larger than 600 pixels. So if we take a look here, we can actually hit this button here, the toggle device toolbar, and we can select different kind of sizes of phones. So I can do a Pixel or an iPhone, and as you can see, the width is going to be 320. 600, never mind, 360, 75, iPhone 375. Okay, so as soon as it's in that range of below 600, it's going to take shape of this. So for mobile, we can actually lower this to something around 400-ish. 500 can be good for a mobile view. So let's do 500 pixels. Okay, so now all the styles that we have here only apply to a mobile view. So if we go here, we can also select that mobile, and we can change that if we want. So we can do mobile like this. We select the class and we can change the font size to something like 2.4 rem and hit save. And let's take a look. Now this is way smaller. So maybe on mobile we want our text to be smaller, but if we don't have that media query, as you can see, it's gonna stay the same. So what we do is, let me close this. Let's see. All right, so as you can see, everything is big, but as soon as we hit that point, it gets way smaller. Okay, now we can do that on the tablet as well. So we can kind of take a look at the size of a tablet, which is around 768 pixels. That's going to be fine. So everything larger than that. So what we can do is we can hit that point again. So we have max width is going to be 500, and then we can do media. Max width is going to be 768 pixels. So when it hits this point, then we can do body, background, and let's change it to something else. Lime green. Hit save. Let's take a look what happens now. So as soon as it gets bigger, it's gonna go green. All right, there we go. And as soon as it gets bigger than this, it's gonna go to desktop. Okay. Now the problem here is that there's not much space for the desktop and the mobile one here, as you can see. So basically everything between 500 and 700 is gonna be the tablet. So this kind of doesn't go for that long here. That's 700. So there's between the mobile and the tablet one, there's not that much, as you can see. So it kind of switches to desktop quite soon. And we might have tablets that are larger. So let's change this to something like 1024 pixels and hit save. Okay, let's take a look what happens now. Okay, so now it's kind of stuck. There we go. Make it larger a bit. We are on tablet mode now, and now we are on desktop. So you can also do the opposite of this by just adding minimum width if that's what you're going for. But there we go, take a look. Now we can add different styles. So even on this one, we can change the tablet, maybe, tablet, and we can add a font size of somewhere in between 3.4 rem. Okay, so when we go here, mobile is small. All right, and now the tablet one is selected, and now the desktop one. So as you can see, we can toggle between those if we want. Okay, so this is one that we are gonna use a lot. These are called media queries. And another great way we can use this is by adding it here into our HTML. Now you're also gonna see that some people might use it like this: media, screen, and max width. And this is gonna work the same way. Nothing's really gonna happen. It's because there's multiple types of media queries. There's also one for print, and there's another one, I believe, for voice or something like that. But generally, we want to do it for screens. And if you leave this off, by default, it's going to be all anyways. So I would recommend you to do it like this, but it's fine. It's not going to change a thing. Okay, so let's see how we can add this to our index.html. So rather than doing all of these, what we can do is actually separate these into their own CSS files. And that way, everything is going to be way clearer here. All right, we're not going to flood everything with all of our code. So what we can do is have one style.css, which is a normal one. We can have one for mobile.css, and we can also have one for tablet.css. Okay, and here you would just add these styles normally. So let me just copy over, let's do the mobile one. So I'm going to copy this and add it to the mobile one. All right, we're going to remove this, and this one too, we're going to copy it over to the tablet one. All right, we're also going to remove this. All right, so we just copied over these settings here and here. Start linking it. If we go back here, and if we add it up here, I'll just say link, and I'll say style sheet, and the href is going to be mobile this time. And basically what I want to do is add a media here. So if I say media, and I can add that screen and if I want, but I can just do parentheses and say max width 500 pixels. So anything that is below this 500 pixels, this mobile CSS is going to apply. So let me save this and let's see what's happening. So let's go back here. Let me close this. And as you can see, that gets small. However, the background is not changing anymore. And that's because this style below it is overriding it. So this down here. So what we want to do is we always want to start off with the desktop up here first, and then we are going to go down. So we're going to have desktop, tablet, and then the mobile one. Okay, so let's head back here, and now as you can see, everything works the way we want. If we go back here, it's going to switch to the desktop. So let's also add the tablet in between here. So we're going to say link, I'm going to say style sheet, and here I'm going to say tablet, and I'm just going to copy over this media query and change the size of it. So let's go back here, And I can change this to 1024 pixels. Okay, hit save. Let's take a look. Does that work? Okay, so this is the phone. This is the tablet view. And now we are on desktop. Okay, so that's a simple step to media queries. We're gonna apply this to everything that we need. And let's move on to heights and viewport widths, because that's gonna make our life super, super easy.